Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Faith Prep Live. I am joined today again by Todd Mello. Todd, last time we did a Faith Prep Live, you were distributing shoes in South Africa.
Yeah, it was a pretty special time, Chuck. Me and my wife, Carrie, were along with about 60 volunteers down in Cape Town, South Africa, delivering shoes, delivering the 10 millionth pair of shoes for Samaritan's Feet. That's what they started out to do, 20 years ago when they started the organization. So it was a pretty special moment. I appreciate you bringing me on to be able to share what God has done over the last 20 years at Samaritan's Feet. And then specifically during those 10 or 11 days that we were there, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And we were so excited about being able to share that story through our streamcast that we've actually decided to do this on a regular basis. So we are scheduling at a minimum monthly episodes of Faith Prep Live, and that will give our Faith Prep Nation the opportunity to be up to date on things that are happening both within our schools, but also just in general, how God's working in his kingdom around the country in ways that are intersecting with what we're trying to do from an education standpoint. And today I'm really excited that we get to talk about an upcoming event that is going to start on Thanksgiving called the 54-Day Challenge. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of put up a website for everybody to see. We are actually in our third year of doing the 54-Day Challenge.
Yeah.
Right? This was something that came about even before Faith Prep was up and running. And it was really something that was born out of an event, a situation that happened in Indiana and that was very close to you personally and really struck a chord with your heart and kind of motivated you. And we didn't even know fully what your role was going to be at Faith Prep at the time. We were just beginning to have conversations about what that looked like. So why don't you share with the audience what the catalyst was behind the 54-Day Challenge and what our objective is with that?
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate that. 3 years ago, I was driving home. I announced football games on Friday nights for a Christian television station in central Indiana called WHMB. And I was on my way home from one of my games and turned on the radio just to check my son's score. My son is one of the coaches at Ben Davis, a pretty large school in central Indiana. And just checking the score, and they said there's been a shooting at, guns have been fired. Shots have been fired at Ben Davis High School, where Carmel was playing Ben Davis at Ben Davis. And the shots were in the parking lot. I guess everyone was scrambling and running for their lives, in that moment. In Indianapolis at that time, and they still have a pretty high crime rate right now, a really high violence rate, although it did go down in 2023, but it's still really high. And so it's like, wow, what is going on? This is a high school football game, something innocent and should be fun and team camaraderie and community spirit and all those amazing things, right? But here we are, violence at a high school football game. This is silly. This is absurd. We should not be doing this. Why are we not being kind to each other? And obviously, we know we live in a broken world with broken people who are committing crimes and doing things out of the flesh. And it breaks my heart. And so I just thought, what if we were actually kind to each other? So I actually tabulated the day. Martin Luther King is a big fan. I'm a huge fan of his. One of my heroes, one of the most amazing men to ever live on the face of the earth, and just really loved what he stood for and what he continually stands for in his family. So I'm like, what if we did something around Thanksgiving? That's a day to be thankful, right? A season of gratefulness, a season of thankfulness. And what if we were able to do something for 54 days, right? Or whatever the number was. And I counted the days up and it was 54 days. I'm like, I think that sounds like a good 54-day challenge from Thanksgiving Day all the way to Martin Luther King Day. Let's do some nice things for people. Hold the door open for somebody. Buy somebody a cup of coffee. Reach out to somebody, compliment somebody, whatever that looks like. Just a season of compassion. And I love that Faith Prep has adopted that because our job at FaithPrep is to help our students become better servant learners, right? To understand that service above themselves.
That's great, Todd. And I still remember that lunch we had, right, at a burger joint to talk about what this might look like. And then over the next week, we scrambled to put together a website and come up with a concept of how this might work. And it's a pretty simple process. Our intentions really are to help create an opportunity for individuals to be intentional and focused during this time period in doing acts of kindness and demonstrating compassion to those individuals that are part of their life and around them.
Yep.
To just kind of create a new atmosphere within the environment of where and how we live, to even help cultivate some habits maybe in people's lives that allow them, as you said, to think beyond themselves and be really focused on loving others,
That's right.
which is what we're commanded to do. And so we did it that first year. We didn't really have a huge participation, but it was exciting. The next year, which was last year, we were able to bring that into FaithPrep and have that be something that our students became aware of and were a part of. And the way it works is, and you see a little crawl at the bottom there, you just go to this website at 54days.us, and at the bottom of the website is a sign-up form, and you just sign up and you will become part of the 54-day challenge. If you have an organization that you want to include in this, maybe you're part of a school or part of a business, a church or a nonprofit, and you think this could be something that could be valuable for your organization, then you can sign up on the organizational level as well. And then every day, we're simply just going to send you an email with an inspirational thought and some suggestions around practical ways that you can show compassion within your community. So it's not really a heavy lift for anybody to get involved. All we really want is your heart and your availability to be kind and loving and lead by example within a world, let's be honest, that really needs that right now.
Yep. Well, and Chuck, too many, you've been a part of, nonprofits, you still run one, people asking for money. This is not a money campaign. We're not asking for any money from you. You don't have to donate $1. You don't have to get behind anything except for just being nice to people, right? Just take our suggestions. In fact, if you have some suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Email us. Let us know what your thoughts are on doing something. Or maybe you did something that was really kind or compassionate to somebody. Share it with the rest of the class, right? So the rest of us can maybe emulate what you just did. And so I just love this because, again, there's no fundraising. There's this time of year, everybody's asking for money. Every store you go to, you're getting the Salvation Army or other people, tugging on your shirt and say, could you help? Could you help? Listen, this is not about helping people financially. This is about helping ourselves, helping our heart, getting our hearts in the right spot. And so that's all this is about. There's any ulterior motive, no agenda, no anything except for just be kind to each other.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we are really excited to actually announce today that we have selected our national spokesperson for this year's campaign. And it's Fanchen Stinger, and she's somebody that you've known for a while, Todd. And unfortunately, she had a conflict today, or she would have joined us personally. But we're going to make sure to be able to connect with her multiple times throughout the campaign. But why don't you tell us a little bit about Fanchen and why we think she's going to be a fantastic spokesperson for this initiative?
Well, Fanchen, first and foremost, is an amazing sister of Christ. I mean, she truly is the daughter of the King. I mean, she loves Jesus. She's all about him. She's all about his word. And she's just an incredible human being. Anyone who ever comes in contact with Fanchen Stinger absolutely comes away a better person as a result of it. She is connected to the community. She's connected to her friends. She gets in the mud with people and has conversations with them and helps them. I can't tell you how many people I've come across and Yeah, she just brightens up a room. Smile lights up a room. Her attitude and personality is just absolutely contagious. And so we are so blessed to have her. She spent a lot of time, over 30 years, in the broadcast world, was a anchor in Detroit for a long time. Those people still recognize her in the airport. She hadn't been on the air there in 16, 17 years. So that's just the impact that she had. She covered 9/11. She was in New York City when the Twin Towers, right after the Twin Towers came down. She drove out there with her camera person. And then she spent a lot of time in Indianapolis, and that's where I got to know her. And she went to my same church, and she was our spokesperson at the church. And so you're just going to love her. She's going to share chapel on January 17th, 2 days after our campaign, with our students. And we are just so blessed. You're going to love Fanchon. You're going to love what she's about. And she's got a lot of connections and connectivity. But more than anything else, you're going to love her heart. And she reeks of compassion. Like, seriously, like, it just oozes out of her. And so we're blessed to have her.
That's fantastic. And I know she, after leaving the journalism world, started a nonprofit called Grit and Great Nation. And it's really an initiative to really empower and help young women become true leaders through courage and grit, and that whole need for perseverance as you grow up, especially for women leaders, is really essential. And her personal story is a great just backdrop for what that whole organization stands for. Over the course of the next 54 days, starting next Thursday, Todd, as we said, there's going to be, daily emails that go out. We're hoping that people will, get engaged and personally start, demonstrating compassion. And as you said, taking the opportunity to even tell us about that on social media. We're going to have periodic episodes of either Facebook Live or FaithPrep Live, depending on the situation, around FaithPrep. Our next FaithPrep Live in December, we're hoping to have an exciting show. We're not going to announce it yet until we can confirm it. And then, as you mentioned, leading up to even that chapel experience with Fanchon after the campaign ends, that last week, we're going to have just a celebration of compassion that spans several days with several different components to it. And more information about that will be shared as we.
I'm excited about what that looks like. That's gonna be awesome.
Closer to the event. So again, for those watching or listening, you just go to 54-day challenge. Be sure to sign up. We're excited to have you be part of what we're doing, and it's going to be, I think, an amazing time. And Todd, I think our guest for today is there in the waiting room. I know he was there with his camera. Maybe he just turned it off for a moment to just listen. But one of the things that we want to do with FaithPrep Live is give opportunities for individuals who are part of FaithPrep, whether that be students or faculty members or other staff members, to participate in the show and really give a voice for what God is doing in their life and how FaithPrep can be a part of that. And so we're calling this segment our Student Spotlight.
Yeah.
And I'll just, I'm going to go ahead and bring Jezra into the studio. I know his camera's not on yet. There he is.
Jezra.
Awesome.
Oh, I saw that. Wait a minute. Was that a tap of the hair because you're making fun of Chuck and I's troops that are retreating? Because you went like this, like it felt good. Because I haven't done that. I haven't felt like that in 34 years, bro. Like, just curious. You're on mute, man.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I have to flex the hair,
Hey, man, I had the fro going back in the high school days. I'll have to show you a picture. It was pretty impressive. But I'm just glad. Hey, Jezra, thank you for joining us, and for especially early. It's earlier in the day because you are out in California, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Gosh, I was just out there this week myself in San Diego, and it's a beautiful state, and we're really excited that you are a part of FaithPrep and that you've joined us for Faith Prep Live. We haven't had a chance to interact as much, but I know you are in Mr. Mello's class. And so we just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to ask you some questions around your experience with Faith Prep, maybe how you got here. What are some of the highlights that you've encountered here in your first semester, and just an opportunity for you to share for anyone who might be looking at an online Christian school, maybe why Faith Prep could be a good option for you. So Mr. Mello, I'll let you kind of just direct the conversation.
Yeah, Jezzer, so just quick, I mean, you've been here, a few months now. So what's been the best part of Faith Prep?
Sorry, a little noisy.
He's got his fans. His fans are behind him, Chuck. He's like, no autographs right now. I'm not playing a game of basketball right now. I'm talking to my people here at Faith Prep.
Well, I think the best thing about Faith Prep right now, in my opinion, is the schedule. It's very opening. It's easy to manage, and for me, especially with things I do in the day, it's very easy for me. Have class in the morning. It's a reasonable time, not at 7 a.m. So I think that's one of the best things about Faith Prep.
And so you have to you're in 9th grade, right? So you just started high school. So you have a full course load, and you have to manage that schedule. How do you go about doing that? What's your approach to that to be successful in an online environment?
Well, mostly just getting the work done, just, pushing 100%, not falling behind on assignments, and not being not wanting to do the stuff. Just got to get it done. It's priority. You have to do it.
Yeah. So just treating it like a regular school environment, right? I think some people come online and they think it's maybe either going to be a little easier or they don't have to do as much. I think one thing you said earlier is that you actually have a little more flexibility on how you use your time, and that you can manage it to make that fit within your schedule, but you still have to put in the effort to be successful. Now, where did you go to school last year?
Last year I went around here in Echo Park. It's called Gabriela Charter School.
Yeah. And what was the decision for you to go online, and how did you even find Faith Prep?
Well, me and my parents were talking a lot. We recently just opened a UPS store. My dad's the manager. We're managing a business. We just opened this last month. So it's been very a very cool experience. We opened, we're really busy now, which is a blessing. And they're just we're going to need some help. We're not going to have enough time to take you to school in the morning. Just can you be flexible with us? We'll put you online for this year, maybe until sophomore or whenever. I have no clue, but I'm really enjoying it. And we just started looking for a good Christian school for me, and we found this one, and it's amazing.
Awesome.
That's awesome, bud. Talk a little bit about what you think students or young people are going through right now, and how concerned are you about the state of the students and your peers, their mental health right now?
Well, last year I had a couple of students in my class. Some were suicidal, which was very difficult. There's a few of them. I really try to talk to them and touch their hearts, because personally me, that's a very sad thing. I don't know why someone would like to throw their life away, and just it's horrible. So I try to talk to them. I try to super kind, super caring, always there to talk to anybody if they need to talk about something important, life, what's happening at home. So I'm very opening with people, which is I feel a lot of people, mental health are not their capacity is not as good right now, I guess, or they're not 100%. So anytime anyone's going through something, I'm always helpful or trying to be there for them in a way.
Yeah. That is awesome, because I think there's so many people that are struggling right now they feel invisible, right? Or they feel unvalued, and just even that connection that you referenced, Jezra, I think is critically important. Go ahead, Mr. Mel.
No, I was going to say, Jezra, yesterday we talked about this, the 12 stones of remembrance, right? of that remembering of what happened with the Israelites when they left Egypt, when God delivered them out of Egypt into Israel. And there was that moment where they were building that memorial for those, because they were creating idols and they were creating all kinds of things and not really giving God credit for the amazing things he's done, because we're really bad at remembering, aren't we? We're really bad at celebrating the amazing things. And so you shared a story with one of your friends that I just love, of how he's, growing in his relationship with the Lord. And you were really, discipling him in that moment. Do you mind sharing that story with everybody? And you don't have to mention his name or where he lives. I was just curious, because it was so powerful. I just really was moved by it. And I think our students were impacted by it.
Oh yeah, of course. So I had this friend, his name was Gerardo. We didn't really get along in 7th grade. Well, actually, we got into a fight, 8th grade, beginning of 8th grade, we got into a fight. I had a candy. I opened it. I'm like, yo, bro, look at this. It's like I found a way where like all the candy comes out instead of like trying to suck out the candy. And then he like slapped it on my hand. And then like I started getting mad. We pushed each other, shoved each other. Then we started slapping each other. He slapped me in the face. I slapped him. We didn't really like each other. So that was a horrible start to the 8th grade, especially after 7th grade. I wasn't really like the person I thought I'd be. I was very like, I'm gonna be honest right here. I was suspended 3 times in the 7th grade for doing just stupid things, little. But then I had time to reflect 8th grade, summer of 7th grade, and then 8th grade, I came back. Everyone saw I changed. I was like a different person. Everyone was like, "Wow, Jezra, you're different in class. You're not like loud and obnoxious. You're very calm and wanting to get the work done," which I saw that change in me. So I was kind of upset about that moment in 8th grade when we got into that little bicker. But then I don't know, out of nowhere, one time we started talking, and then out of nowhere I invite him over, and then we go play basketball and just have a good time, invite him to eat, and we just automatically click. Ever since that moment, we're always playing basketball every Saturday, riding our bikes together, sometimes going to the movies, inviting people over as well, coming to my house. We go to the pool. We're always doing something every Saturday, Sunday. I just hung out with him yesterday. So I think just little things like that can vary. Like if you get to know somebody, you can just click with them automatically. And now I'm helping him. He was a little chubby, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm just trying to change." So I was like, okay. I gave him workout schedules. Of course, we always play basketball together. So I'm over here trying to gain weight. He's trying to lose weight. So it's like it's amazing.
I love that. That's iron sharpens iron, right? It's what it talks about in Proverbs, and helping you to understand that. So thanks so much for sharing that story. Regarding your faith, Jezra, when did that become real to you?
Like, can you like elaborate a little more, please?
Yeah. When did Jesus really become real? Like when did he become from a mystical figure or someone that you really can't relate to someone who's now, next to you or personally connected to him? When did that happen for you?
I guess 8th grade. 8th grade, it was like a big change. Like I started finding things I really love. I started going to church. Like I have like a little youth group church I go to every Wednesday. I try to go on Sundays, but the store gets busy, so I have to, help. But my dad's a ex-pastor, so sometimes he'll like read us a passage, tell us what we learned from it, So it's just 8th grade was a very like good moment for me. Found a lot of people, met a lot of good people in my life, and wasn't like filling my people with horrible like people in 7th grade. 7th grade was a mess. Always people like peer pressuring me. I always fell into that peer pressure battle, and I always kept like wanting to do something evil and bad, which was horrible. And I just, changed.
That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah. Jezra, I don't know if you were able to hear us talk about the upcoming 54-day challenge and what that was going to be like. And so it's going to be new for you as a new student, but we're going to take 54 days from Thanksgiving through Martin Luther King Day and just have an intentional time to be focused on doing acts of kindness and compassion for those around us and in our communities. And I just love the heart of what you shared about looking at your friend and understanding that he had a need and you had the capability to step in and step up and help meet that need. And we're hopeful that out of this campaign that you and all the other students will find yourselves just in that exact same type of situation on a regular basis with things that you're hearing or what we're talking about within Faith Prep or within the campaign, and that God's just going to give you an amazing opportunity to speak into people's lives and be that encouragement, that voice of reason. It's just, we just, that's part of our prayer and hope, is that students like you are really the face and the leadership of Faith Prep to the outside world. That's all going to come through our students like yourself, who God's turning into these amazing individuals to be his servant leaders around the world. You're on mute again.
he keeps muting. I think he feels like he's still back in class. Like, you don't have to mute every time. It's all good, buddy. We want to hear that background noise. It kind of helps the ambiance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course.
Good, it's all good. It's all good.
Of course. Yeah, I concur.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's just a way of showing compassion, like you're naturally doing with your friends now, which is just amazing, and really that transparency that you're demonstrating as well, Jezra, of just being in that moment of saying, you know what, 7th grade, I was an idiot. I was a knucklehead. I was not doing the right things, and now my life is turning around, which is absolutely incredible, and really is a testimony to the work you've put in to do that. What was the hardest part of that process for you?
In 7th grade?
Yeah.
Well,
you know the root cause of why you were so angry.
Like the root cause,
yeah,
it wasn't like angry, it was just obnoxiousness, I believe. Like, I wasn't really mad at anyone, I wasn't mad at anything, I was just a knucklehead. Absolutely. Like, I don't know what happened. I was just loud, obnoxious, annoying in class, always like making my little noises, thinking I was a class clown. Which, of course, you have times to be funny, which I learned in 8th grade. You have times to be funny. You have times where the teacher will laugh and cry with you and be, that little guidance with you. But I believe that, like, there's times to be funny and times to be serious, times to be like, hey, I want to get the work done. I want to get this done. And I don't want any problems, So that was just my mental for 8th grade.
Yeah. Well, Thanksgiving's coming up next week. What are you most grateful for, bud? You told the story about your friend, and that's a stone of remembrance, right? But is there something specifically besides that you are grateful for, either that you're going through at Faith Prep or just personally?
Well, of course, for God, everything he's given me, my family, of course, just the people I've been around, the people I've met this year. Amazing. That's what I'm really grateful for. Any
specific people besides Mrs. Land that you don't really? I'm just kidding. any specific teachers or staff members that you've really connected with, or even students that you connected with, and knowing that you are hundreds of miles away from these individuals, and some of them thousands of miles away. So anybody that you want to shout out to that is really connected to, either teacher-wise or student-wise?
Oh yeah, definitely Mr. Mello. I feel like I had that connection with you. Like, you're just like, you're cool, you're opening, you're very nice. Especially Miss Krieger's cool, amazing Spanish teacher. Basically all my teachers, Mr. Hopkins as well. And Mrs. Land, I got to get that grade up, But
still. She's listening right now. So
she is listening right now. That's awesome.
Got to get that grade up.
Listen, Mr. Wolf and I would be needing some help from Mrs. Land as well in math. Okay. So no judgment here, brother.
But yeah, especially PJ. I don't know if he's still with Faith Prep, but PJ, we still talk, still call him. We talk sometimes. So I really connected with PJ. I connected with the other students, but we haven't really went talking, But PJ is the only one that I, talk to a lot.
Yeah. Jezra, what would you say if there were students who were thinking about coming to Faith Prep, but they're concerned about the socialization? That's a big objection to some people as to why they don't even want to consider online, is they think they're going to miss out on socialization. How do you get that component of life for you personally, both outside of school and then even within Faith Prep?
Like you're saying, like how would I tell somebody if they want to like join Faith Prep but they kind of don't want to?
Or they think that, gosh, I'm going to be isolated. I'm not going to connect with people. I'm going to miss out on the social side of life, right?
Well,
by being physically together. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was what I was really scared of in the beginning. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna have any friends. I'm gonna be lonely. I'm just gonna be stuck in my room doing assignments all day and just being in Zoom class. But I mean, once you think about it, it's like very like fun because it's an opening schedule, like I said. The teachers are always opening. They're always like happy. They're always nice to you. And about the friends, you don't even have to worry about that. You don't have to be like, hey man, I want to be popular in high school. I want to be like the jock or something. You know what I mean? So like that's what I was worrying about. That I was dumb because now this like I get to connect with people thousands of miles away from me, and like it's amazing. Especially if you get their contact, you just talk to them, shoot them a text like, hey man, how you doing? How are your classes? That's a lot to ask for.
And you still get to play basketball with your friends back home, right?
Of course, yeah. I go every day. Got to get that work.
So tell us about that game. Do you really have any game, or are you just, are you kind of all talk?
Nah. They call me Curry out here for real.
He's got a street name. I like it.
I like it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm a point guard. Average 15 points per game, assist, maybe like 5 rebounds. I'm only 5'9", 5'10".
You guys are in your season. You play travel ball? Is that what you play?
I played AAU, but then like since the store opening, I can't go all the way 20 minutes away, which is Glendale. Not know if you're familiar with that, but then so then I was like, let me just join rec center. I was like, I'll help them out. They need my help probably, so I just joined rec. We lost 5 in a row actually. I go every Saturday, and I was like, come on, we gotta lock in to have a play. Everyone's decent, but there's this one player. His name's Ethan, and this other player. I really talk to them, and we just connect. We're like a trio. Talking about Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan right there. So
awesome.
There you go. Maybe if you recruit him to Faith Prep, we can have a traveling team, man.
There you go.
Oh my God, that'd be so fire.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, but ever since my coach did leave, he left for like a day and he wasn't there. We just clicked. We won 4 games straight, and we just need to win 1 more to go to the playoffs. So
that's awesome, buddy. Well,
yeah,
we are so blessed to have you. You're one of our leaders at our school. You're compassionate and energetic. And I was just telling Mr. Wolf of how amazing you are. And we're just excited to have you here. We're excited to have your family. And you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Ezra.
Take care, buddy.
Have a good one.
See you, man.
Well, how fun was that, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's who our students are. Anybody who's watching, any moms that are maybe concerned about them not having that socialization. Does he sound like he's unsocial or unsocial, right?
Right.
No, he's not. And that a lot of that sociability, I heard a podcast from Vadi Bachman just yesterday, and I think I sent it to you guys, and just understanding that. What do we have our students, our kids have over 14,000 hours in school, right? And so we're lending them to, the culture at public schools or whatever culture even Christian schools or Catholic schools, none of them are immune to any of this stuff, right? Even in some of the Christian schools that I've been into, there's more problems there than even the public school. And so it's understanding that Faith Prep gives them that flexibility of going, you know what, I don't want my child to be in that school for 14,000 hours, right? And being exposed to all those families and all that culture that I have no control over.
Right.
Guess what? You have control of your own culture in your own home, especially through Faith Prep. And it's just that flexibility, and it's that socialization you can create in your own community. And to Joseph's point, you create it online with our teachers. We do so much things from technology that I think we make too much of that physical contact. We can make that physical contact with the flexibility of getting our students, our families out, serving in the community, or engaging or interacting with their friends, groups. And so I think sometimes we use that as an escape, right? Of just or an excuse to go, don't want to do it because of the socialization.
Yeah, I loved how he said that Faith Prep met a unique need for him individually and his family,
Mhm.
right? And the dynamic that they were in. And, but also where he says you can come into our school and be in an environment where you can be authentic and yourself and not have to immediately try to be somebody else or fit into a label or into a certain group. And just that ability to be authentic, open, allows you to connect with other students and with your faculty, your teachers in a way that you normally don't get to experience at a brick and mortar school.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're
And
blessed to
again,
have them, for sure.
yeah, and we appreciate so much, Todd, like what's happening in the Faith Walk class, right? Because that's something that's unique to Faith Prep. It's where we really focus on character development and cultivating leadership skills in these individuals so that they can become the servant leaders that God wants them to be. And we have a unique opportunity in doing that many other schools don't.
Mhm.
And that was reflected in his appreciation for you and the class, and just how willing students are to embrace that time together to really grow and mature in who they are in their faith and as the unique individuals that God wants them to be. And again, going back to our 54-day challenge, I'm excited to see what God does with this year. You know, we're twice the size that we were last year
Yeah.
at this time as a school, so we have more students engaged. I think we're going to have some amazing stories come out of this that that are going to be really transformative to individuals' lives, if not communities. So, anything else you want to share around that as we kind of wrap up today's session?
Well, your gardener's analogy, right? It's the first year is the creep, right? The second year is the sleep, right?
Right.
And then the third year is the leap. And this is our leap year, I believe, in this 54-day challenge. There's something about this year regarding the 54-day challenge that I think God's going to supernaturally touch and impact. We have no idea, even the work he's done over the last 2 years of just the stories and that, you know, as it relates to that, and who knows, as a result of the amazing acts of kindness that they contribute, because we're not in everybody's lives, and we don't get the response, we don't get the feedback all the time about it. So I'm excited about this year. I'm excited for what God's going to do. I'm excited for Fancha being our national spokesperson. I'm excited for what the students are going to be engaged in, and I'm excited for the last 5 days of the campaign, because I think it's going to be absolutely amazing just watching everybody around the country serve the Creator and serve the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? Because we have a lot to be grateful for this Thanksgiving.
That is a great way to end, Todd. So thank you, Faith Prep Nation, for watching. We are looking forward to the next time we get together in December. We think that's going to be an amazing episode. And until then, we hope we see you before that online as part of the 54-day challenge. Take care. God bless. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.